to hear all of the things. I know quite a few of you are doing holiday stuff, so that's why there are people who won't be with us live, but I still want to know that you watched it and what you are implementing, and I want to hear about your plans. So with that being said, let me go ahead and pin myself here. Okay, awesome. So today we are going to be diving deep into creating an actual blueprint. I'm talking about a strategic business plan for 2025 so that you can hit your goals. On day one, we looked at what needs to stay and what needs to go. So I wanted to take a second and go back on what we've already done and see what clarity has come through for all of you. So after doing the pre-work and the day one work of looking at like what has worked really well for me, what isn't working, what do I want to keep, what needs to go in 2025, what clarity have you found about what you know needs to happen next or what needs to happen in 2025 for your business? Curious, hop over there. Let me know in the chat where you're at with all of that, because one of the things that's going to be really important for today is having a clear decision about where you want to go. And we're going to get even clearer. We're going to go deeper into this and we're going to look at like, what does it actually look like? What are we actually creating a plan for? Showing up live more. It could be different things for everyone, right? I know for me, it's creating more semi-passive income and the systems that go along with that. And really looking at some other aspects of my business, which I'm going to get into today, because everything I'm going to teach you today, I have examples of that I've already created for myself for 2025, so you can see how it goes. But before we even jump in to anything we are doing today, we need to have a conversation about goal setting and numbers, okay? I know for so many of us, same as Katie sharing more personal life experience, yes. So I know for most of us, and you tell me if this is you. Some of us are like, Katie, what you're about to say doesn't apply to me at all. But I know for a majority of us, this is coming up. How many of you feel like setting goals is overwhelming for you? Like when you set a goal and create a plan to achieve the goal, it feels overwhelming or traps you. Having structure makes you feel restricted. Like it locks your creative genius, like you get kind of stuck and you start overthinking. Maybe perfectionism kicks in, or maybe you just have a hard time sticking to the plan and then you shame yourself about it. So you're like, oh, I just don't want to do that anymore. Maybe you've set some really big goals for yourself in the past and you haven't hit them yet. And so now you're like, oh my God, I have so much shame that I haven't hit this goal yet. What's the point in even trying, right? This is something that comes up for so many women. Whether you are just getting to your first 100K year or you're scaling to your next $500,000 year, because we have people in this membership who are all over the map on income. Because it doesn't matter how much money you're making, the same challenges will continue to present themselves in new ways as you grow your business. And I know for so many of the women I have worked with, a big edge for them is really sitting down and getting in CEO mode. Not just coach, marketer mode who makes money on social media, but really looking at their business like a big fucking deal. Do you look, when I say you have a big deal business, you have a big business, what is the first reaction that comes up for you? What is the visceral response that comes up for you? Because this is going to give us some information. Yes, I fucking do. I'm not scalable in its current form, so let's look at how to scale that today. Excited. I love that. This is really good. We're in a really good starting place then, because today I'm going to take you through really getting clear on what that big vision looks like in terms of like what you're selling, what you're offering, how you're running the business. And then we're going to look at like the boring stuff, like how do we actually set numbers and KPIs and how do we track it? And some of you are going to be like, some of you are going to be like, this is so boring. And I get it because it's so fucking boring for me too, but it's important. And I'm going to tell you why it's important and why you should challenge yourself in this. Because when you have a plan written out like this, when you know what you're doing and where you're going and you've laid the fucking roadmap for it, you're not running your business from reaction. And a lot of us are running our business from a reactionary place. Ooh, I have this idea, so I'm going to launch this thing. Or, ooh, I have this idea, so I'm going to do that. Or, ooh, this or that. I'm not saying that there's not space for creativity. But what I am saying is that if you want to get to a specific place 1 year from now, 3 years from now, 5 years from now, we have to stop running our business based off of emotions and how we feel and throwing spaghetti at the wall. This does not mean that you don't use your emotions to amplify your business. That's not what I'm saying. You guys can hold the duality of this, right? Like, we need to be able to have a very clear plan in place and then be disciplined enough to create it. Just like if I am going to lose 10 pounds and build a dump truck ass, then I need to go to the gym and I need to follow a meal plan. Okay. There are certain exercises I have to do, and I have to be in a place where, like, I know where I'm going and I have a plan to get there, and then detach from that and be in the zone of discipline. This is so big. This is so fucking big, because this is how you're going to prevent burnout as well. How many of you have burned out in your business? How many of you have dipped into burnout this year alone and been like, I'm going to burn this whole fucking thing down. I'm quitting. We're done. Not doing this anymore. Those moments, well, these emojis that are flying across your face are giving me life right now. Like, literally same, but it's in those moments I go back to the blueprint. I remember what the fuck I'm doing, because a lot of the times we're just running off of emotion and reaction there, and we're not really sticking to the plan and the blueprint, because when we have a plan and a blueprint that we know is going to get us results, whether it's the exact number or close to it, we are going to be more inclined to stick to it and feel less decision fatigue, less compassion burnout with our clients, all of the things. Okay. Like, it's really, really important that we have this. But if every month you feel like you're starting from scratch of like, what the fuck am I supposed to do? By month 4, you're going to be like, this is really exhausting. Like, what the fuck am I doing? I don't know what I'm doing. How many of you have the constant plaguing thought of like, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing? What the fuck am I supposed to do next? Yeah. Yeah. And I know this is for a lot of you, because you're not sitting down and looking at a plan and creating a plan and following to it. You know, I can't do this with each of you on a personal level, because not all of you are in one-to-one. But many of you who are in like the all access one-to-one or like my mastermind or something, it's easy for me to sit down and do that with you. So the reason I'm doing this today is so that everybody in the membership can have a blueprint. And I'm going to show you how to make it even easier and take the emotion out of it, because we're going to ask Chat GPT to help us today. We're going to be like, hey, Chat, here's all the information. Put together a fucking plan. Show me what my KPIs are. Break it down by quarter, so that we don't have to do that. I don't know about you guys, but like that part of my brain, it's not the strongest. You asked me to write, you asked me to create, you asked me to coach, love it. But when you have me start mapping out KPIs and all that, like, I like it and I have to be in the right zone, but my emotions start getting into it and telling me, well, I can't make that happen, or that's going to be too hard, or I've tried that before. So we're going to take all of that out and we're going to ask for assistance from Chat today after we get super fucking clear. So how many of you are excited to actually have a blueprint in place to know exactly what you're going to do in 2025? Hell yes. Hell fucking yes. And I just want to take a moment for how many of you here identify as creative or have a neurospicy chemistry? Curious, because I want to take a second and talk to my ADHD girlies and my intuitives and my creatives. So, hey, Nikki. So it can feel really we're going to go big today. We're going to look at the entire year, but then we're going to chunk it down. Okay. We're going to chunk it down, and then we're going to look at actionable steps month by month, quarter by quarter. All right. That's going to make it easier. Also, visualizing it, having some way to look at this. I'm going to show you what mine looks like, but your organization might look different than mine. Maybe you want to put it on a whiteboard. Maybe you're somebody who loves like Trello or Notion or something. Then go put it over there. Or maybe you just need to like put it in a journal and color it and put pictures around it. Like, whatever the fuck you need to do, like, do that. Okay. But have a visual of it, whatever works for you. I like Google Docs. I like organized Google Docs. That helps me. And then I put it on a whiteboard too. Like, month by month, I put it on a whiteboard. So I want you to be able to have ways to visualize it, like color code it, if you're creative, drawing pictures, whatever. Maybe you need diagrams, whatever it is. Be creative in putting this together. Create flexible structures. We talked about this on day 1. This isn't like a rigid prison that we're about to put ourselves in. We're having a plan. It's a roadmap. We can be flexible in it. We need to find the ways that the things that work for us. Okay. This is something that's ever growing and changing. That's why we're not going to get super entrenched in like what's happening in Q2 and Q3 and Q3. No, we're going to build a big plan. We're going to break it down and then we're going to look at next steps. What is the thing I need to do in the next 30 days? Like what needs to happen in the next 30 days to get on track? And then we reevaluate monthly. We're also going to lean on systems. So one of the things we're going to talk about later in this course on Monday, we're going to look at embodiment, and we're going to look at embodiment through habits, beliefs, and practices. And then Alyssa's going to come in and do systems with us. Okay. But the habits are your systems. Our goals, the biggest problem with goals and manifestations is that people rely on habits to get them there when what you actually need is systems. Systems are the things that allow you to keep going and growing. Okay, that is what we need. And I'm not talking about you need a fucking funnel. That's not what I'm saying. I'm talking about you need systems in your specific life around certain habits. Like the reason I'm able to create content, the reason I created content every day for 3.5 years straight. I'm when I say every day, I am not exaggerating. Every single fucking day, 10 to 15 stories a day, content every day on my feed, posting in multiple different places. The reason I was able to do that without burning out is because I had a system. I woke up in the morning, I did my habits and my routines, and then I put a system in place. So I created content in the morning. It was done by 11 o'clock. That's it. There was just, and I stopped negotiating with myself. I stopped breaking promises to myself and I stopped fucking negotiating with myself. And this is what I mean by the discipline piece. Because if you're thinking in 2025, I want to be a best-selling author, well, you're going to be need to writing like a page a day in a book. Like you're going to need to be committing and being disciplined as fuck to that. And I want to stop here and just kind of go deeper into that. Does somebody already know like one big goal they have for themselves in 2025? Put it in the chat. I want to see what it is. Like that big fucking thing. I'm going to be a paid speaker by the end of 2025. I'm claiming it. I'm claiming it. You're going to see my KPIs, how I'm going to make that fucking happen. I don't expect to be paid for my first speech, but I will be getting paid, even if it's $100 by the end of the year. Book, paid speaker 2, another book and paid speaker, 10 franchises, YouTube monetization, paid speaker. So this, we need to, when we're creating our plan, I need you guys to start putting that into the questions I'm going to ask you. So we're going to plug all this into chat and it's going to tell us exactly how to set it up. Okay. So thinking about that, and then we're going to find our focus point. So if we know, hey, I want to monetize YouTube, well, I need to either get all the education on how to do that, and I need to start making videos like now. Because the quality of the video is the thing that's going to be able to get me monetized. So I need to start making videos before I have it all figured out, and then I need to figure it out as I go, right? I need to get better as I go. Being constantly having having accountability system in place, having education in place, and knowing like I'm going to create X amount of videos every week, and this is what I'm going to do, and there's no fucking negotiating around it, right? So thinking about that. So if that's a focus point, that's where we start first. If you know that that's the biggest thing, that's where we start first. If it was a book, then we need to start writing the book. If it's the franchises, then we need to think about how many franchises, how many people do I need to speak to about the franchise every quarter? How am I going to tell people about this franchise? How many people do I want to sign every quarter into the franchise? How many people do I want to set up for the franchise every quarter? So if it's 10, I would say 2 to 3 is going to be your KPI, right? And we'll go into how to do this. So remember, mindset for this, discipline creates freedom. Because if we have big, hairy, shameless goals, then we are going to need to be disciplined in making that shit fucking happen. We need accountability, we need support, we need discipline, and we need unwavering focus. This means it cannot be mood dependent, okay? I love you all so much. It's not fucking mood dependent. I'm tired, I'm here. Why am I here? Because I give a fuck about doing this for you all and I want to show you how to make it happen. And I said I was going to be here. So I'm here. Literally could have stayed in bed the whole day. Like we're at that point in between Thanksgiving and Christmas in the US where it's like purgatory of like, you're just so tired and don't want to do shit. And all you want to do is eat Christmas cookies and like chill up in a little cozy snuggie, like on the couch and do absolutely fucking nothing. But like, you can't because you're an actual person with actual responsibilities. And so even though my mood wasn't supportive, I found a way to get my mood on board. I thought about you guys. I thought about what I'm doing. I thought about how cool it's going to be here. Then I thought about all the fun things I'm going to do after I'm done working today and how today's my last day because I have things worked into my schedule. And this is a key point where tomorrow I don't have to do shit. Tomorrow's my Friday. My Friday, I don't do a fucking thing. It's my fuck off day. Like I can do whatever I want. So I know I'm going to finish. Today's my last day of the week. Tomorrow I have that. I'll be rejuvenated because I'm not going to do anything on the weekends. And then I come back on Monday, right? And it's like, this is the real shit. This is the real shit. And I know it's fun. And I'm going on a tangent right now. I'll get into the meat and potatoes in a second. But like, I know it's fun to tap into the desire and manifest and visualize where you're going to be 10 years from now and be like, I have felt it and I see it and it's going to happen. But it's like, but how? How the fuck are you going to do it? And that's, I cannot stand when people say, don't worry about the how, because you're gaslighting me. Like, how the fuck is it going to happen? Like, I want to know how it's going to happen. At least give me like an idea. Like, help me play around with the possibility of it. Like, help me see how this is possible. And the duality of this is like, we're not going to get hyper fixated on how it has to happen, but we need to see that there's a plan in place, because this will regulate our nervous system and it creates certainty in the brain. And when there's certainty in the brain and regulation in the nervous system, because there's not uncertainty, all of a sudden we can actually create and visualize and be in the energy and tap into the desire and manifest it. Makes sense to everyone? Are we all here with me? Do we get it? Are we here? Okay, perfect. So we're going to jump into some reflective questions and planning. Let me know what's landed for you so far, because one of the, actually, let me say this to you, and then I'm going to ask you what landed for you so far. So one of the things I heard earlier this week, as I was doing my own planning and listening to YouTube, love YouTube. You guys, if you want to do YouTube, get the fuck on there. Like, it's the best. One of the things somebody said was, last year's ceiling is this year's floor. Last year's ceiling is this year's floor. Ooh, that makes me excited. I love that, because that's what's fucking true. But this is what, but in order to make that happen, how the fuck are we going to make it happen? What systems do we need in place? What beliefs, what strategy do we need? Because if my floor is $250,000 years, I'm here for that. I'm fucking here for that. Okay. Like right now, I think for my sales total for the year, I'm at like 206 or something. And you guys have to realize too, and I want to share this because I think it's really important to share. My first year was over 340,000 in sales. Cash, it was like 320 or something. So like that was, I had never seen that much money in my entire fucking life. That was 3 years ago, guys. I went from 340 plus to like 200,000, 100, it was like 180 and like 210. And now this year I'm at 206. So I'll be a little bit above probably by where I was last year. That to me is annoying. To some people, that's the fucking dream. To me, it's kind of annoying because I'm like, why can't I get back to where I was? But it's because my body is unwilling to do what I did that first year. And so I have to create the systems and the functions and the healing that has to happen in order for me to scale that again. Because my first year, you know what I did? I monetized every thought that I fucking had. And that, because I know how to sell really well, and because I have a great brand, I made money on it. But it was frantic. It was chaotic. It was messy. It was disorganized. And by the end of the year, I was like, holy shit, I don't even know what just happened, number one. There was actual no strategy, so I had no idea how to replicate it. I literally just went fucking insane. Like, and it worked. And that was beautiful. And that's it. Hey, exciting, right? Like, it gets to be like that our first year or two. But then you mature as a business owner and your body's like, well, I'm not on board for that. That's not sustainable. So we're not doing that again. You have to heal that shit. That takes time, right? Because I wasn't just healing my first year of business. I was healing how I did life in general. I was a hustler. I was the chaos queen, the organized chaos queen. You know, like I went from being addicted to heroin and homeless to becoming a, magna cum laude of my class, graduating early with a master's degree because I turned the shame for my addiction into hustle. I'm going to show you just how amazing I am. I'm going to show you I can fucking do it. I'm going to prove to everybody. And I am grateful for that because it got me where I am today. but I'm at a point in my life where I can't continue that way. It's not sustainable, right? So over the past couple years, I've had to play around with what actually works for me in my body and healing that and doing all of this. And we're going to talk about this more in the embodiment practice, but I just want to share this with you because I've had the goal for a $500,000 a year for 3 years now. I'm not changing the goal because it didn't happen. I'm changing who I'm being and tweaking the strategy to make it fucking happen. I'm not going to hold the shame just because it didn't happen last year. I'm not going to set my goals based off of the past. I'm going to set my goals based off where I know I can be. I know I can have a $500,000 year, and I know I can do it with only working 30 hours a week. And you're going to see that in my strategy, that's something that's included. I'm going to show you guys how to put that in there. I've been focused because I've been too busy. I need to start saying exactly, this is it. It's like we can't be, when we're everywhere, we need to create the focus. So let's get into it. Let's get into it now that I've shared that with you, because I want you guys to understand that just because maybe you said you were going to hit a $10,000 month this year and maybe you didn't yet, it doesn't mean to stop. It doesn't mean to just settle at that goal. If you want $30,000 months, set that goal to have $30,000 months. Don't let it limit you just because you haven't got there yet or you tried and it didn't work yet. Notice that everything I'm saying has yet at the end of it because it's going to happen for you. And I firmly believe that. And you can borrow my belief because I fucking know that you're going to make it happen. And I know and I believe in my heart of hearts that it can happen for you this year. It can. But we need to figure out what works best for you and create a strategy around that. So we're going to get crystal freaking clear now. And I want to do this together. Okay. I want to do this together as a group. You have access to this and you're from the workbook that you already have the link for. This has just been added to it. Or you can do it in your journal or you can type it up on the computer as we're going. Whatever works best for you. I would highly recommend, if you don't have this or you can't get access to it, to type in your notes on your phone what we're doing, because I'm going to have you plug this into Chat GPT so that it can do everything for you. So that way it's already written out. Now, if you're like, Katie, I'm not fucking doing this right now, I just want to listen, that's cool too. Like, it's fine. But if you want to do this together for accountability purposes, because you're somebody who knows, oh, after I get off this call, I'm probably not going to come back and fucking do it, then you should do it with me now. Okay, you should do it with me now. Let me see what you guys are saying. I don't see it on the tab. Oh, it should be at the bottom under part 2. Do you see it? It should be the last one on there. Oh, you know what it is? I gave you guys a copy. Here, let me pop it in the, that's what it is. It's not showing up because I had you guys make a copy of it, so maybe it's not showing up. I'll have to resend it after this. So let me pop it in the chat really quick and let everybody get settled. Oh shit, no, don't use that one. Stop. Hold on. Forgot to do the copy piece on it. Okay, just because this is my master one. Okay, you now have the link in the chat. I'm gonna give everybody a couple minutes to open that if you want to open it on your laptop or your desktop or even your phone and just start typing directly into it. You are welcome. Last year's ceiling is this year's floor. I love that so much. I can't get it out of my head. All right, let me know once everybody has it. And then we've already been through all this. I walked you through all the notes at the beginning, but you can go back and review them. There's some reflection questions for you, but we're going to jump right into getting clear on your vision for 2025 and what that is actually going to entail. So what is it that you know is your big vision for 2025? We did this on Monday. No limits. There's no limits. How do you see yourself leading, serving, selling, and living in the vision? Take a second and fill that out. And listen, you don't have to worry about grammar or spell check or any of that, because once you plug this into Chat GPT, it'll fix all that shit for you. Okay, so just start typing random stream of or flow of consciousness. Big vision. What do you see yourself doing? What does life look like? What does it feel like? How is your business running? Who are your clients? What are you doing? Where are you showing up? What is your social media like? Is it growing daily? Or are you somebody who wants a small audience that just is making buttloads of money off of this really small, intimate community? Like, what does it look like? And then once you finish with that one, it'll be easy to go right into the next one. What are the big opportunities that you want? We already talked about speaking on stages, monetizing YouTube. Maybe it's starting the podcast. Maybe it's blowing your podcast the fuck up. Maybe it's writing a book. Maybe it's a TED talk. Maybe it's something else, right? Go ahead and put it in there. Maybe you want to host your first retreat. One of the things that is on there for me is starting to have in-person branding days with clients where we do photo shoots and creative direction and all of that. And you come down here because I'm at this new co-working space and I have access to all these podcast studios and photo studios. And I'm just like, oh, I've done retreats around this entire thing, but wouldn't it be so cool to just do it with one person, right? Right? Just have one person come out. We spend the day in a luxurious ass fucking hotel, chilling, creating a plan, go out to a beautiful dinner, go shopping. And then the next day we do this luxurious photo shoot where you're pampered like a fucking queen with hair and makeup and a photographer, maybe even a stylist. Like, oh, how much fun would that be? Nothing is off limits. Even if you feel like it doesn't make sense, just put it in there. Because like you've never seen anybody else do it or something. Like, I don't care. Put it in there. That's exactly what we need. The thing we've never seen anybody else do. Yes, I love it. It's a well-oiled machine working for you. Okay. Let me know once you have finished those two sections. Okay, not a problem. Okay. Now this next section, you're going to move into it. Not all of these, some of these questions you've already answered. So you can literally copy and paste them if you've already have them in another Google Doc from part one. So you can go up to your tab on part one and do it. Or you can go to your pre-work tab and pull it and just copy and paste it into here if you already have it in the document. If not, just answer a couple of these. You don't have to answer all of them. So like, I really want you to think about, number one, what do you want your business to feel like in 2025? And in fact, while we're doing that, I forgot to put this in here. Let me pull up. Fun fact, when I was a therapist, I used to have this, the feelings wheel, on the back of my clipboard because I would do morning check-ins with all the clients, and I'd be like, "How do you feel?" Like, "Oh, I feel good." I'm like, "No, take the clipboard, pick a feeling. How do you feel this morning? Actually identify your feelings." I was so annoying. They loved it, but they hated it at the same time. Okay, so here's the list of emotions. Let me pull this up just for you to pull from. Hold on, let me do this a different way. Fuck. There we go. Okay. So now we have a list of emotions. How do you want your business to feel? This is one of the most important ones. How do you want your business to feel in 2025? Do you want it to be blissful? Do you want to be euphoric? Do you want to be elated? Do you want to be surprised daily by how good it's getting? Do you want to be speechless? Do you want to be excited, enthusiastic, passionate? There's not a bunch here. This is the best list of emotions, but this will get you started. I'm going to move away from the list of emotions now, and I'm going to come back over here and just prompt you a little bit more. So I want you to think about your product suite now. Like, what in your product suite actually needs to stay and what needs to go? And some of you might be like, hey, I got like one thing in my product suite, Katie. So like, this is not a question for you. But for some of us, we have created way too much shit. We've created way too much shit. Not bad, not wrong, but we can't sell all the things we've created. So what does your product suite look like? Do you want a simple product suite? Do you want like 3 core offers? Do you want 1 core offer that you only want to scale? Do you want to have multiple digital courses and then one-to-one that you move people into? Like, what do you really want your product suite to look like? How is it going to be simple for you to sell and scale? Because if you're somebody who's like, okay, I'm ready to scale, well, we need a one-to-many offer in there. We need something that is actually scalable at a decent price point. I'm not talking about your membership. If that's what you want and you want to scale your membership, then we need to talk about volume. That needs to be included in your KPIs. You need to figure out how to get volume of sales. But if you're somebody who's like, I don't really want to try to like get thousands of people into a membership to make a $300,000 a year. I would rather have like a smaller membership than a scalable group program or mastermind. Let's be thinking about that. And remember, there's no rules here. Like, it gets to be whatever you want it to be. Maybe you're somebody who's like, I don't want to do any of that stuff, and I just want to scale my digital courses. I just want to make money off my digital courses. So again, we're going to be looking at volume here. So we need to think about, where are you going to get more visible? Where are you going to show up? Where are you going to sell these things? How can we create a really juicy funnel and make sure that your messaging is on point to sell these things? So it really just depends on what you want. But I highly recommend, like, if you haven't hit $100,000 a year yet, you're going to want to have one-to-one. Because one-to-one also gives you tons of research, or have some type of one-to-one option within a group, like, or have a group program. Let me put it that way. Just have a group program, something where you're talking to people, because the more that you can talk and coach people, the better your messaging is going to get, because you're actually going to have real life experience to pull from, not just uh, a hypothetical about who your ideal client is and what their problems are and what solutions they're looking for. And then I'm going to take you guys down to the bottom here into the financial reality. And I just want to kind of jump forward to there. The other boxes are important, but you can come back to them just for time's purposes, because this will help you a lot too. Is like, how much, and after you answer this question, I want you to come into the chat and share with me. How much do you actually want to make in 2025? Not what do you think you can make. How much do you actually want to make in 2025? And then again, how many hours a week do you want to be working? How many calls do you want to be taking? What do you want your work week to look like? So for me, for example, I want to make $500,000 years, but I don't want to work more than 30 hours a week. I want to make sure I have 2 days for only client calls, 1 day for like course like updates and admin work and all of that, and then 2 days off a week that are going to be CEO days, where I'm thinking about growing the business and maybe working on other behind the scenes tasks that help that business grow, or my own personal development, or my own learning. And also just having fucking fun and not being glued to my business all the time. So I already kind of have that schedule in place, but I am going to be cutting back Telegram days. I still have some people on Telegram 4 days a week, and that's not continuing. It's going to be 3 days a week for Telegram, and that's it. Oh, the other thing I had in here, 1 week a quarter off for travel, trips, vacations. That was something I said I was going to do this year, and I didn't do. And I was resentful because I kept wishing I had worked into my schedule. And I was mad every fucking time at the end of a quarter when I was feeling tired. And I was like, damn, like, I really want to go do something right now, but I sporadically launched a thing and I put the dates in on this date and now I can't take time off. So we're going to immediately work these things into our calendar after the course is over. We're going to start building our calendar for 2025. So maybe you know that you want to have 180 free days per year. Okay, well, how many is that per quarter? How many is that per month? We need to work those in. Another question here is, what are you absolutely not willing to sacrifice? I am not willing to sacrifice time with my daughter. Especially because she's a freaking teenager now. This shit's crazy. It's wild. It's so different now. I have to like get her to spend time with me now. So I need to be like actively pursuing it. You know what I mean? It's not like before where it was like, okay, I could just really use a break. Now it's like we're in the same house. I have to like go like bug her, you know? Yeah, it's every single time. Literally last night, I was sitting on the couch watching my show for like 2 hours, Black Doves, if anybody's watching it on Netflix. And Lily was in her room, not saying anything to me. And then as soon as I go in my room and start updating my stories for the end of the night, she comes in and jumps on top of me and knocks my phone in my face. I'm like, and then is mad. So I'm like, hold on a second. I was literally in the middle of typing a sentence. I'm like, I love you, don't go, but let me just finish writing the sentence. I was literally like in mid-sentence. She's like, Barr. I'm like, I was sitting there for 2 hours, dude. Oh my God, so funny. Okay. Once you finish this part, I want to know, meet me in the chat, or actually just take your mic off. Let's get some interaction going since we've been doing a lot of work and sitting here. Let's get some interaction going. So take your mic off. Tell me what awareness you have, what your desires are for 2025. We're going to do a little bit of reality check. Then we're going to start putting all this into Chat GPT to make our plan for us. I think you can just take your mic off and come up when you're ready.
I just want to say hi, good morning, everyone. And this is so great. Thank you for this. I know I'm going to go back and do some of the work, but just in listening, I'm thinking about how I want to see my business it's so impactful, even just to like start having that process going on, more intentionally in a set place, and just hearing you also share yours is helpful. So thank you. And yeah, kids do that, right? My kids do that all the time.
I'm so happy you're here.
College and teenagers, and literally driving 30 minutes to just sit here and watch them play on their phones is crazy. Like, okay.
That's the other piece too, is like we got to work in like the chauffeur part or whatever.
The best time they talk is literally when they're in my car, just driving to places.
That's it. That the car is like the secret telling zone. That's where you get all the gossip and the tea.
Yeah.
What's one goal you have for 2025, Angelica?
One goal that I have for 2025 is showing up more. So I do want to create, I was starting to create stuff on YouTube. So I want to do more of that. So I would transfer some of my Instagram reels and conversation pieces that I would have on Instagram. And so my plan is to show up at least once a week live, if not 2 to 3 times. I just kind of got to see how it fits in my schedule. And like you're saying, like plan it out here. So ideally, I would like to show up a minimum of 3 times. So I just have to see if that's actually like realistic with my schedule.
Okay, awesome. So looking at your schedule is going to be really important in figuring out like designated days and times for the creation.
Yeah, and I think also the way I think about it, like it doesn't have to be 10 to 20 minutes every time, right? So if that's the case, I could probably show up every day, right? So it's just like, how do I want to show up? Being intentional with that as well, that process of like how and what's the point, right? So like how is this going to feed into what I'm trying to do?
Yeah, absolutely. Love it. Okay, so that's good. So we have some direction there. Okay, amazing. So happy you're here too. Welcome to your first Rich and Shameless Society.
Yeah. Worked out this morning.
All right. Anybody else want to share?
So I can see I have huge goals.
What are they? I want to hear them.
I've got huge goals. I don't even know where to start. Like I'm making minimum 10K months to start with 10% increase year over year. I'm working 30 hours a week, but I have a phenomenal VA that's working behind me. And as my business grows, she reaps the benefits with me. So we get to grow together because that's big for me. I'm speaking on stage. I'm being invited to other people's podcasts to share my experience. And basically, the things that I see me selling out the most, this is a really interesting exercise, was my leadership program that I'm creating and my retreats. And the leadership program is what feeds my one-on-one. So it helped me really narrow down, Katie, with kind of where my focus needs to go aside from my podcast, because I feel like those three pieces really support each other. And then of course we talk about travel and all that kind of fun stuff too. But yeah, I think the one thing I did notice though too, and I'm trying to find it, I did see where there was an opportunity for me because you had a question around support.
I did. What kind of support are you going to need to make this happen? I have that later on, I believe, or maybe I have.
Yes, you do. Under brand and identity. And I wanted to put, I want to be known for transformation and reality, leadership in life. I want to make people's lives easier, give them the tools and everything they need, reshift their mindset. I don't know if my current product suite reflects my vision. I need support in building that mapping plan to achieve what I know I can do. So there you go.
Okay. So that's really good. First of all, the awareness is huge here. And that's why I have all these questions. There's a lot of questions, and some of them asking the same thing multiple different ways, because I really want you to be able to get the awareness of like, what's the missing piece here for me? What support do I need? What needs to shift? What's not cohesive, and what is? And so one of the things that you're going to see when we get down to the chat GPT prompt is that'll help you kind of organize this and look at it and say what to focus on next. I mean, immediately what to focus on next is one-to-one. That's the thing that we need to focus on, getting one-to-one in, and then potentially maybe doing a retreat, a leadership retreat, so we can get those retreats worked in. And then once you have one-to-one bringing in, then we can also look at delegation. Can we hire a VA? Do we need an OBM? What is the specific type of support that we're looking for? Maybe it's a social media manager where she can just schedule all your posts for you, or somebody who's very well-rounded and can do all of those things. We need to look at, okay, well, like now that we've done this for Q1, getting one-to-one filled up, then we need to reevaluate where are we at now. So we'll be able to go deeper into this in one-to-one together. But once we put it into Chat GPT, we're all going to go in and we're going to look at it and say, is this working? Is it not? Does this make sense? We're going to use it as the skeleton to actually then use our discernment and our critical thinking to say, like, what is this the right move? So first of all, your vision is amazing. We can totally get you on other people's podcasts like tomorrow. Like that could start immediately, right? So it's very realistic, honestly. Like it probably feels really big, but that's 12 months. We can do a lot in 12 months. For sure. $10,000 months. I mean, I went 6 months with making, nothing, and then I had a $10,000 month. And then I dipped because I wasn't doing the things that I did in the beginning. I went away from basics, and then I brought back what I was supposed to be doing, and then I jumped from $12,000 months to $30,000 months. And I made $100,000 like in the last quarter and a half of the year. Like it was insane. It could happen quickly. It can happen quicker than we think because all the work we've been doing to get here has already been compounding.
Love that.
Okay, very excited. Love these. Nikki, you put yours in here. I'm going to read them out for you, okay? Or do you want to come off?
I can come off. It was just like a Zoom. Just let me shut the door because there's like awful.
I can see your Christmas tree.
Oh, so pretty.
Oh, she's beautiful. I love her.
So yeah, my biggest vision for 2025 is to grow me and body a new program because that'll take me to 10 to 15k months if I can do that. So that's my main focus. I've got my TED talk in July, so I'm going to monetize YouTube before July so that when it goes viral, I'm going to be known as the spiritual squirrel for people to go to come and help them with stress and regulation for ADHD. But what I really need is to have more boundaries with myself because I'm just shocking. And I'm going to blame my ADHD for that because I'll literally be sitting and the minute I'm trying to focus on something, I get a download. Someone will say something and I'll get an idea. So it's almost like Oh yeah, Caroline, we don't know each other very well yet, but you'll get to see the squirrel.
It's her brand. It's literally
It's
her brand. At one point when we were doing the mastermind, was it, oh my God, when was the last time we did the mastermind, Nikki? We did it a year ago.
23. Yeah.
23.
Yeah.
Nikki started making these graphics with this little animated squirrel. And it was the cutest thing I've ever seen. And she wears her squirrel costume and everything like that. It's the best. It's such a great brand that you built.
Oh, thanks. People send me squirrel stuff all the time. I've had 3 squirrel Christmas decorations today people have sent me. So it's just nice. But I want to have more discipline with myself, knowing that I will need to work smarter and harder during the set hours. And I think that'll help me like so much more. I'll fill up my cup. When my cup's filled up, I'm more, aligned and all those things. So still go with the brain thoughts, but maybe write them down and not allow myself to do anything with them until the next day and just see how that works, like be more disciplined. But then I think I've got PDA because I don't like being told what to do. So I'm just like argue with myself, do that. No, I'm not fucking doing that. You do it. Oh, well, I want to do it, but no, I'm not doing it.
Well, this is like, and so one of the pieces of, so one of the things I want to say before I forget, when you're done with your strategy for today, I want you to send it to me so I can put it in your folder for the mastermind so that I have it, so that I know where we're going in the direction before we even get started. But for this is the presence piece that I'm talking about, is like being present, not only like in your business and in your body, but also how you bring that presence through online. So we'll work on staying focused on the actual goals at hand, and then creating the systems that work for Squirrel, that work for that part of you. And so like the boundaries is going to be number one though. Boundaries is number one. Boundaries with self, boundaries with others, and figuring out like what does that need to look like right now, and then allowing it to evolve as time goes on.
Yeah. The other thing I've just realized as well from doing that is like I have cleaned up my product suite, but my pricing doesn't align with everything. I think I've got the feel that I want, and I think I've cut things back. So I've literally got 4 things or maybe 5 things that I'm selling. But when I was looking at like if I want to hit 300k next year, yeah, because I would love next year to pay off my mortgage. It's 185k. I made 160 this year, but I didn't really plan for anything. It was literally by the seat of my pants, just finishing off paying for the franchise and all that stuff. So yeah, it's been nuts, and I don't want to do that again.
No, we don't want to do that again. So this is amazing. That first of all, you've made 160. There's no reason that we can't increase that by 20, 50%, even, 2x it. Like there's really no reason that we couldn't do that. Because you have the brand, you have the audience, and you have the reputation to make that happen. So here's and I'm going to take what Nikki's saying right now, and I'm going to move us into the next section for everyone, because this is really important, but I'm going to stay here with you, Nikki, in this conversation. Is like, I want everybody to think about this, because like when we're looking at your product suite, this is the reality check. What needs to change in pricing to actually make that happen? And then where do we need to focus on? Because one of the things for me, and tell me what comes up for you when you hear this, Nikki, like, for me and a lot of the women that are currently in private, where we're doing this already and we're planning out their year, I'm telling them, don't just focus on the shiny object. Like focus on what you need first. Like, what do you need? What is the baseline of recurring revenue that you want to create in Q1 or even have by January, to know that you feel safe and secure in your business and you're already on track to hit your goal for 2025. So I know for me, I need to secure 5 one-to-one clients at my current rate that I have. And if I can get them there and all on a 6-month contract, right? That's 2,000 times 5, that's $10,000 a month, right? Just from one-to-one clients. And then I have them on for a 6-month contract. Obviously, I'm already halfway there to $120,000 for the year, just in baseline there. And that's at my current rate, and the price might go up. I'm going to be thinking about raising my prices in March. So like I've already raised them already, because I was doing a lot of like customized one-to-one packages, and I'm done doing that shit. So I want to secure what I need first. For some of you, that might feel restrictive. For me, that feels like I'm going to create safety. So maybe it's for you looking at one-to-one or franchises and figuring out, how can I get like at least 1 or 2 to start that baseline recurring revenue, to know I'm already on track to hitting the projected income outcome that I desire to have in 2025. What comes
Yeah.
up when you hear me say that?
So what comes up is that I've just to make money for the last sort of 2 months because I've always put my retreats on a credit card and then just sorted it out like refinanced with a loan, or I've always been a borrower, whereas now I'm like, no, the new me pays for things. So I've had quite a lot of extra income coming, but I chose to pay for stuff up front. So I've just paid for my retreat house, which was 4 grand, and I had it in my bank account, and it made me want to be sick as at the same time as feeling so proud. So I'm trying to hold myself through that now. But I've just offered, I think I've got 8 one-to-one clients now, but I got them in on this P Glitter offer, which is Embody a New program and 3 months coaching with me for £1,000 pay in full. And literally people have just been handing me their money. So I've put a stop on that now because I've got enough. And it's a call every other week. And then it's access to me in WhatsApp, which I chat to everybody in there anyway, because I'm shit with my boundaries at the moment. So it's like not going to change anything. But going forwards, I'm like, right, I'm just going to finish off with these people. Some of them aren't starting until January. Some of them are finishing. So I'll only have sort of like, 5, I think, in January or February. So it's not going to be like all at the same time. But I know I need to put my prices up, but then there's still that fear around, well, no one will buy, but people have in the past. And it's just that belief again that I just need to believe.
People will buy. Here's the thing. If we don't get to decide what people deem valuable and how they spend their money, that is not up for us to decide. What we have to decide is that we believe that what we're selling is worth the price that we're selling it for. That the value that we're creating is worth the compensation that we're asking for, and understanding that there are a lot of people with a lot of fucking money who will pay for what they want. There are a lot of people with a lot of money who will pay for what they want. And some people will put it on a credit card. Some people will pay for it with their cash, but people have resources, and when they want something, they get it. That's how people buy the new iPhone when they are struggling and making 40 grand a year, but they buy the new iPhone every time it comes out because they deem that valuable, and it's not up for us to decide if they're right or wrong in that, right?
Yeah.
So like people will pay at every single price point, and we really need to ask ourselves the question first of like, what do I need? What do I need to feel safe and secure in my life? And then what do my prices need to, and also be the best coach I can be to the people who are paying me? And then what do my prices need to be as a result of that?
Yeah. And I know what I offer is not like what other coaches offer because I've got the spiritual tools and I'm about to do my hypno training that finishes in April, so I can offer that. But it's almost like I feel like, I don't know. I know I'm worth it, but there's still that fear. So it's like, oh, I'll just take this. And if I get 4 of them, it's fine because then that's the amount of money I wanted. But I just need to start talking to a different client, which is what I've started to do.
Yeah.
Because I want to work with the people who are ready. And there's a lot of people, even just £1,000, people have just been throwing it at me. I'll pay you, I've got it here, I'll get it out my savings.
People are literally throwing money at me. Listen to that statement. People are literally throwing thousands of dollars at me daily just to be taught by me. Just to be taught by me. Like there are people out there who want to pay you more. This is the people are already in your audience right now waiting for you to talk to them. They're waiting for you to put the Gucci bag out instead of the Forever 21 bag. They're like, I don't want the Forever 21 bag. I want the Gucci bag. When are you going to put the Gucci bag out? And they're just waiting for you to show them, hey, this is the Gucci bag you've been waiting for, because everything else at the lower value, they're like, I don't want this. I don't shop at Forever 21. I shop at Gucci.
Yeah. There needs to be that somewhere in my product suite. And there isn't at the moment. I don't have a Gucci bag out on my shelf, if you know what I mean. But I think that needs to be. And if you want the Gucci bag, this is what it is. And just when you were saying about that whole day experience, like there's so much I could do with people in a day. I mean, I've got a 2-day intensive, but that's still only 1,500. Sorry, the teenagers in the room.
That's okay. Hello. Hello, teenager. So, Nikki, what I want you to do today is I want you to play around with what that looks like, what that could look like. Or we're just plug it in here and say, just when we're doing the chat prompt of like, hey chat, let's say I have a 1-to-1 at X price. How many would I need to sell for the year to hit a baseline revenue of $100,000? Let's just say all $100,000 this year comes from 1-to-1. And then everything else is just coming from all of your other offers. And play around with that and let's see.
When should I do that? When we finish?
But we're going to get to it. Down here, I have it. It's all down here. I'm going to show you exactly how to do it. Okay. Thank you for coming up, Nikki, because I think that was valuable for everybody. Caroline resonated and Iman shared. Do you want to come off mic, Iman, and share what you saw?
Yeah, the dating coach on Shark Tank. I watch a lot of Shark Tank because they're really bitchy on there, as opposed to like the really tame Dragon's Den. But she was charging $6K for 45-minute 1-to-1 sessions, and men were paying. Men are her target audience, and it really taught me that, you know, people will see value in what you're offering, and people will pay. I personally didn't see the value, but I'm not her target audience. But it just taught me so much about business and about how you market yourself, and about the fact that it doesn't matter what other people that are not your target audience think. You're marketing yourself correctly, and obviously she's got other things going for her, but people will buy. There's literally no limit to what people are paying for. And it was like a texting course for how to text women properly. Honestly, I was amazed and inspired by this.
Oh
if she
my
can do
gosh.
it, I can do it, right? Anyone can do it. Any one of us can do it, literally.
Like literally, you decide the price tag. It's not up to us to decide who's gonna buy it. We just have to believe that people are gonna buy it, like, because they will. They fucking will. My 1-to-1 used to be $3,500 a month, and it was $3,000 a month if you paid in full. So you got that discount. You got like $1,500 discount if you paid in full for 3 months, and then obviously it went up 6 months, 12 months. I don't sign 12-month 1-to-1 clients, so unless I've already worked with you for a year before or something, then we can do that. But people paid me that. People paid in full for that. I would receive payments of $10,000, $12,000, like, and it wasn't a problem. I lowered my prices because I didn't like the people that I was attracting. My messaging was off with that a little bit. Not to say that everybody who would pay that much for the message, it was just the way I targeted my people. It wasn't working for me anymore because it's very much like leave your 9 to 5, and I don't use that messaging anymore. And so I changed it, and I had a wound from a client. And so I stopped taking 1-to-1 for a while because I had fear. I had a protection of like, I don't want to take 1-to-1 clients. But I'm telling you right now, people will pay. Like I have one of the women who's going to be in the mastermind with us, Nikki, she used to sell $56,000, like legit, like, and she's like a sales expert, and she would sell these packages. She stopped doing that because it wasn't supportive of her anymore, and she didn't like doing it anymore. But people were paying her. The point being, people were paying her $56,000 in full. Right. So like that's the thing. And I know I've paid $30,000 for a mastermind before. I was doing bi-weekly payments of $2,500. And I could afford, I figured out a way to do it. I was making $50,000 a month at the time, but like figured out a way to do it. And if I wanted to do that again, I would figure out a way to do it. So like people will figure it out. People will figure it out. And also this is, I don't want to be this person, but also too, it's like, this isn't specifically for you, Nikki, but like, don't be scared to like push your own edges with investing and stuff like that too, you guys, because that's really important, because we're not going to believe that somebody else will pay it if we've never paid it, for a lot of us, right? Like, I'm not going to believe that someone's going to pay me $56,000 in full because I've never paid somebody $56,000 in full. So like, this isn't like, go invest all your money in a coach. It's not what I'm saying. But what I am saying is like, play with your edges here. Play with your edges a little bit. Don't be scared to take a risk, because that risk will pay off, because your capacity and your belief will expand. Not because just because you paid somebody, somebody's going to pay you that. It's the belief and the expansion that happens in taking a risk and trusting and betting on yourself. It's such an effort to think about others be able to before me and how they will work out. Literally not my job. Not my fucking job. Not my job. People have money. They know how to spend it. Trust me. All right. So now here's our reality check. Does your pricing reflect where you want to go? Are your offers reflective of where you want to go? Like, and that I had to raise the price on the mastermind too, Nikki. Like, and it's going to go up. Right now it's at $7,500, but it's going to go up to $8,500. You know what I mean? Like, because that is what I need to do because I want to scale that. And that's just what it is. And I know that the value is there. I mean, fuck, people come into masterminds with me and make $20,000 months from a $2,000 month. So like, yeah, $8,000 isn't that much for 6 months together when you're making $20,000 fucking months. You know what I mean? Like, so I had to kind of wrap my head around making it make sense for me. So wrap your head around making it make sense for you guys. Like, there's value in this. And even if you're not helping people make money, there's an emotional transformation. There's a ripple effect in their life. There's values that they have that are priceless to them that you're helping them achieve. You know what I mean? Like what they want is priceless to them. Remember that. All right. So figuring out this, who thinks they need to raise their prices in 2025? Just show of hands. Who thinks they need to raise their prices? Okay. Amazing. Who feels like they need to add a different offer into their product suite to hit their goals in 2025? Okay. And who feels like they're solid, everything's good, they don't need to do shit, they're on track? Okay, so there's always growth, right? There's always growth to have. Then there's other pieces here, and we won't go into all of these, so I want to take you into the chat GPT prompts, but these are for you to look at, or even just thinking about reflective right now of like, are your marketing and sales systems doing what you need them to do? What needs to change? Maybe you don't want to do sales calls anymore. Maybe you need to add sales calls. Maybe that's something for some of us, or maybe some of us already done all the sales calls. We need to take them out because they're fucking draining us. Maybe we're not having any free offers. Maybe we need to add a lead magnet. Maybe we need to add in a funnel. Maybe we need to have better lead generation tools. Like thinking about those things. And if you just finished 5K and Beyond Academy, we just had this conversation yesterday about lead generation when we were closing out and how important it is. And I know it's kind of like I'm not even going to say this. I'm not even going to caveat myself anymore. This is business. These are terms. If they don't like them, find a way to get your head wrapped around them. Like it's just lead generation. I was going to say it's connection building and relationship building. And like, yeah, it's all of that, but it's also just like plain and simple. We're generating leads into our business. And if you don't have leads coming into your business, you don't have a fucking business. I love you so much. I love you so much. You're not going to make sales if you don't have leads coming in. So we need to do lead generation tools. That looks like free master classes. That looks like the tools that teach you around engagement online, all of that. So we need to think about like, what do I need to take away? What do I need to add to make sure I have people coming in, offers to sell them that are priced accordingly. I have marketing that is bringing those people in, and I have a sales system that is moving them through my product suite. Those are like the key components there. So coming down just from like that reflection, let's fill out this box and then we're going to jump into making our plan. What needs improvement? What needs to change? What do you know you need to work on in 2025? You need to raise your prices. You need to add in one-to-one coaching. You need to add a scalable product suite. You need to work on lead generation, whatever it is. Type it in there just real quick, get it out. And let's see, like for me, I need more visibility. I need more visibility. That is a huge piece for me. I need to increase volume of sales, and that means more visibility because I want to scale low ticket offers. I'm at a place in my business now where that just makes sense.
You know, when you say, oh, hang on, I forgot my question. Your current marketing system, like,
Yes.
can you tell me what that is? Because I don't think I've got that.
Yeah. So your marketing system is what is your content and lead magnets in your business that are going to bring people in to your marketing funnel, meaning the content on your feed, your emails, your IG stories, things like that. So
Okay.
what do you have in place? What platforms are you showing up on? What lead magnets do you have in place to either get people on your email list or get them into your IG stories or start conversations with them in your DMs? Do you have a content strategy in place that is moving people through a marketing funnel of awareness, consideration, conversion, right? These are all things that sound really complicated and annoying, but it's really not that hard. Like, so in Content Fairy, Nikki, you signed up for Content Fairy, didn't you? I think you did.
I did, but I haven't looked at it yet.
Oh, okay. No, that's fine. No pressure to go do it right now. But like when you're looking at that, I'm literally showing you guys week by week how to set up a content strategy. I'm like, here's a reach piece of content, and here's a nurture piece of content, and here's a conversion piece of content. So you don't even have to fucking think about it. Okay. Like literally just have that in place. So when we're thinking about the marketing system that is bringing new people in, nurturing the people who are there, and then getting conversations started so then you can get them into your sales system of like buying a low ticket offer or attending a master class and then converting them into a high ticket offer.
Yeah, so I've got that. I've got a masterclass tomorrow, or like a free workshop that's going to be a funnel into embodying you or spiritually rich. So there's like two things they can do.
Yeah, you have quite a few things going on. And so I would love, and here's where like our ADHD brain really loves it, is like make a little graph or like a little visual for yourself so you can see how it's all working, because then it's like, oh, okay. And then you start to see opportunities for like, oh, I should be sending emails to all the people in this program to move them into this program. Oh, I should segment my list this way. We'll talk more about it in the mastermind. I'll go over all with you. I'll set it up for you even. Like, I'll show you how to set it up. I mean, I'm not gonna like do all the fucking emails, but like, I'll show you like how to set the system up. Because it starts to get really fun and exciting. We have all these little different things going on in our ecosystem.
Yeah, so I've got a new tech VA and she's amazing. And she's like, do you know what we need to do? We need to funnel your email list through like a sequence so that they get little offers here and there, and it'll take them to this, and you can sell through your emails more. And I've got the structure that she sent me there. She's like, so you do it like this, you do it like that, and send me all of this. And I went, yeah, okay.
She sounds great. She sounds great. Definitely double check her work too. And if you want me to like review anything, just shoot it over real quick. And just because she sounds like she knows what she's doing though.
She does, yeah. She just needs me to do stuff that I haven't done because it overwhelmed the shit out of me. So I've just sort of like saying to her, do you want to do it? And I'll check it. And then I'll Nickify it. And then, because she's good at speaking in my tone.
That's good. That's really good. Yeah. So it sounds like you have a lot of it in place. But just seeing it laid out will help you so much to like tweak it, find what's working, what's not, all of it.
Yeah, brilliant. Thank you.
I feel like the vision for my business changed so much. I genuinely started as a hobby because I wanted to help women and build community. But I was like, I want to take it seriously. And this exercise has made me realize how I haven't really got a proper foundation in place. You have the foundation in 5K and Beyond Academy. It's all right there. It's all right there, Armand. Like between this and 5K and Beyond, like you have it. When I want you to come off mic really quick. Why does it make you feel sad?
I just feel like, I don't know, it's tied to like not feeling good enough because I haven't been able to make it work, but I never entered it with the vision of making it into a proper business. I just wanted to sit in circle with women and to help them through whatever they was going through. So I can't fault myself for the intention that I had when I started it, because I followed that through. But there's a part of me that's like, it's been 4 years and you haven't really, it's made me realize how little I know about business and all of this and doing all of this. And I just feel like I'm not good enough. But then I never had the vision in the beginning to want to do this. But now I do, because I've got all of these certifications and I invested so much. And I'm just like, well, it's got to lead to somewhere. I don't know. It sounds really stupid, but yeah, I don't know.
I don't think it sounds stupid at all. I don't think it sounds stupid at all. I think this is something that it holds a lot of nuance, the idea of wanting something in the beginning and then that desire shifting as we evolve. And when that desire shifts and evolves from our original intention, goal, or purpose, then all of a sudden there's a bit of grief that has to happen for that old version of self who had that and this new thing that we want. But one of the things that I would ask is like, do you believe that those last 3 years, 3.5 years served a purpose so that you could be ready to turn it into a business?
I mean, have I served women in the way that I wanted to? Yes. Have I shown up for women and helped them with transformations? Absolutely. Have I made any money from it? No. I mean, and that's the reality. Like, I haven't made I fund all of this from my 9 to 5 job, and I genuinely just feel exhausted. And I mean, as altruistic as I was at the beginning of this journey, it's just altruism doesn't pay my bills. Um, and you know, I want to pay off my mum's mortgage. I want to be able to leave my 9 to 5. I don't want to be in the UK anymore. So there's a lot that's riding on this. But at the same, I can't fault my altruism. But at the same time, I'm like, what were you thinking? But I served the women, and I served hundreds of women in the way that I wanted to, and I showed up for them in the way that I wanted to. It's just, you know, sad that, yeah, I'm here now because I was doing it from an altruistic place, but you know, it's like that isn't recognized. Not that I can't explain this, but it's like people don't understand that I'm doing this from a place of just giving rather than from a place of making money. And so the expectation, and this is why like shifting who I'm speaking to is really important, because I attracted a lot of people who expected a lot for very little money or very little investment, because I allowed people to get used to that, because I was moving from a place of altruism rather than from a place of thinking this is actually a fucking business, not a hobby. And you know, you can't just keep doing this as altruistic as it is for like not much. I don't know, that just the realization just feels really overwhelming right now.
Okay. And I just want to give space for that. Let's just give space for that. We don't need to create any stories around why or what or what the lesson is or anything. Let's just create space for the sensations that are coming up, for what you're experiencing, and allow it to just be processed for a moment. Because it's just a realization, and there are sensations connected to it. It doesn't make it wrong or right. It just is what it is. There's space for it to be felt right now.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And one of the things that, like, we're here today because you're ready to do something different. And whatever you did in the past isn't right or wrong. There doesn't need to have a label. It just was what it is, and that's what it was. And it doesn't make it right or wrong. And whatever feelings you have around it are perfectly fine. And if you're ready to change that and start making money off of it, then you get to do that. And whatever choices you made from the past weren't bad, wrong, or you don't need to shame yourself for. They just were decisions that you made at the time from who you were, but now you're a different person. Then you're ready to turn this into something because you realize that you deserve to be paid for this powerful work that you're doing with people.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And I'm curious. I'm just trying to figure out how to word it as a question. When you see yourself doing this work as a business owner, what changes?
I own my authority. I own the way I show up, and I own my process in terms of, and that's really linked to how I show up, but I own my process in terms of bringing to life the experiences, the lessons, etc., that have helped me on my journey, bringing all the certifications in, and really just owning that in the authority and in the way I show up, and in the messiness, because I'm such a big fan of this looks however it needs to look, however it gets to look. Today I might be feeling like this, tomorrow you might catch me and I might be you know, completely different, and I want to own every part of that process, and I want other people to own every part of that process, in the messiness and the rawness and all of it. I just want to own it all.
And I want to hear what the response is when I say this last thing to you. Do you believe that you can be paid what you want to be paid in the messiness?
If I allow myself to just fully show up, yes.
Perfect. So you get to be paid based off of what you've already mastered over the last 3 years, which is showing up and doing what you do and doing what you love. Now you're just putting a price tag on it and saying no more altruism. I need to make sure that I'm nourished and cared for and can turn this into a business that reaches more people, because the more people invest in themselves, the more transformation they have, because the more committed they are to the work and the more invested they are in the work. Okay. This is really big. I'm excited for you to be with the emotions that are coming up here and alchemize them, because you're the queen of fucking alchemy, and like turn them into something really powerful, because this is a big breakthrough moment for you. Thank you for sharing that with us too and letting us witness you. Okay, ladies. So a lot of us have awareness now. Now we're going to start putting it into a little plan, and I want to show you what this is going to look like. Okay. We're going to use ChatGPT to create this for you too. So I've created my blueprint for what it's actually going to look like to scale to 500K plus years. So I have my revenue goal, I have my time freedom, I have how many clients I want to serve, I have my offers, my product suite in there, all of these things, right? All the things I want to do. And then it breaks down how much I need to make off of each of these offers. It even gives me beautiful little percentages. And then I have KPIs. Who here does not know what a KPI is? Who has never heard of a KPI before? It's okay if you haven't. Didn't know what they were until like a year ago. Okay. And I had been running a multi-six-figure business. So I had no idea what the fuck this was. So this is just basically how we're going to track our progress. These are key performance indicators. So just basically like, are you doing what you said you were going to do, and is it working? That's it. That's all we want to know. And so what this does is it breaks it down for us to see what are our KPIs, to know that these goals that we set are in progress. And then we break it down by quarter. So I know that I need to have, I've already launched Presence, Power, and Profit Mastermind, and do the Q1 cohort for that from January to March. Then I'm going to relaunch the Rich and Shameless Society. And I'm also incorporating some new fun things into my product suite for some passive income. Now, how will I know that I'm being successful? Because I'm hitting these metrics. I'm hitting these goals. I'll have 20 people in the mastermind. I'll have 30 plus new members in the membership. I'll have new followers, because one of my things is I want to get more visible, right? I said that to you guys. I want to get more visible. So I'll have followers coming in, and I'll have new email subscribers. So I only have 220 people on my email list right now. So like most people have like thousands. I have like 220 because I have not actually tried to grow my email list. But my email list converts. So I know if I can add more people there, I can create more income from email, which is a great thing. And so I have these broken down to quarters. So I know I have the goals are here for the rest of the year, but I'm really just going to shift my focus to what needs to happen in March, from January to March. And then I have my next steps. Now you might be looking at this like, how the fuck am I supposed to put this all together, Katie? Well, don't worry. I'm going to show you exactly how. We're going to ask chat to do it. So the first thing I want you to do is I want you to take all of the information that you've written out in your document and in your past document, and I want you to go put it into ChatGPT in a brand new thread. So if you don't have it open or you can't do it right now, then just be with us here as we work on it. But if you have ChatGPT open, you're going to the part 1 from your responses from part 1.
Oh, I wrote mine out.
It's okay. You can literally just type it directly in, like watch. Like you can see here for mine, like I have it helping me make my outlines and all the things. So like I wrote out my part 2. That's how it's helping me make the workbook for you guys. But where did I put it in? Hold on. So I did this in another thread, but so like here, I literally just wrote it out here, and it's all messy and fucked up and all of the things, and then it made my blueprint for me. But real-wise, I didn't have to put as much information in because I already have a thread over here that it's stored in my memory of I've already done this work. Like I did this work like 2 weeks ago. So what was that?
I still need to upgrade mine.
So if you don't have the new version, that's okay too. It'll still be able to help you. But you're just going to plug in everything I gave you, and then you're going to use this prompt. So let me know once you're all in there, and then I'll read the prompt to you, or you can copy and paste it.
Sorry for being really thick. Part 1 was the other day when we wrote down what we felt about which of the best parts and what happened in our year. Is that?
Yes. That was the pre-work. That was the pre-work that you did. You can put that in there too. And because as the more information it has, the more specific the plan will be from this prompt that we're about to put in.
So have I missed part one, or was I there for that?
You were there. We did the call for part one. That was when we were figuring out what needs to stay and what needs to go.
Oh, I've written it. I've got it over there.
Okay, perfect. And then you can just type it in really quick too if you want to add it in really quick. So what we're going to do, let me kind of walk you guys through this before you start putting it in case you need some more clarity on it. We're going to plug everything in that we've written out in this document. And then we're going to use this prompt. Based on my current business setup, my desires for growth, scheduling, and income goals in 2025, help me create a tailored strategy that includes the best approach for scaling my business, my KPIs, and a specific area where I need support or assistance. So this will help us figure out what we need to, this is helping us figure out what we need to focus on next. So we're just going to start with this prompt. So you can literally copy and paste it in there and then just put all the information in right underneath it or before it or wherever, it doesn't really matter. Just give it the info to pull from, and then it'll create you a little strategy. So let's go ahead and put that in, and let's see how you guys do. Let's see what comes up for you.
Sorry for being really thick. So I'm putting into this bit underneath. I put that prompt in, and then underneath I put in my answers from yesterday.
Yeah, let me walk you through it over here and show you it because I know sometimes it's just easier to see it.
Yeah,
so let's say this is all my information. Let me start a new thread. So let's say this is all the information. I'm just taking everything and just plugging it in, like messy, unorganized, all of it, right? And then I'm going to copy and paste this prompt from our document. And I'm going to go back to chat and I'm just going to plug it in afterward. I'm going to hit enter and then it's going to shoot me out something that looks very similar to what we've already done.
Oh, so I'm sorry.
No, what was the question?
I'm one of those annoying people that asks a million questions.
You're not annoying at all. This is important. I want everybody to understand how to use ChatGPT. I really do.
It's just the bit the bit that you're putting in there, I've just written out now, haven't I?
Yes.
So
okay, you can just copy and paste it.
Okay, so we don't need yesterday's. It's just
no, you don't have to have yesterday's. It's nice to have more information, but if you filled out all these little boxes, you can literally just copy and paste the entire document that we have and then put it in and then put the prompt afterward.
Okay.
Super simple. And look, now this time it even did me a little chart. It spits it out different every time. So you can play around with it until it looks like how you want it to look. Or you can be like, add a chart in there or do this. Like you can make it your own. One of the things that you guys are going to that we really need to think about moving forward, especially if any of us are marketing or business coaches, prompt engineering. That is going to be one of the biggest things for AI moving forward is people who know how to prompt engineer. So play around with it and make it work for you. But it will spit you out a strategy. It'll give you KPIs.
I'm sorry, what's the prompt again? I, for some reason, can't find my part one that I did yesterday, so I was looking
No worries. I'm happy that we're doing this together because I know this is new for everyone. So the prompt right here is prompt 1.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome. Prompt 1. And then we're just going to copy and paste this exact thing right above the line.
Oh, wow.
Do you like what it's giving you?
Oh, it just feels like, do this, Nikki. And it's like,
exactly. No problem. Give me a checklist. I'll mark off my dopamine. Okay.
I fucking love a checklist.
I know, girl. You could even ask it to make it as a checklist. Make me a checklist for Q1. But wait till we get to the end of putting it all together because we have a few more prompts to get in. We have a few more prompts to get in to make it work. Okay, so now we're going to take the next prompt. We're going to copy and paste it right into chat to give us a quarterly action plan. And it's going to break it down by quarter.
Is this do we just put that prompt in without
Just put the prompt in. You don't have to add another single thing. It's going to do all the work for you.
Because I only put the stuff from the first box in. Is that right? The dream big.
Oh no, you wanted the whole worksheet. Get the whole worksheet in there.
I'll start again. Sorry.
Yeah, it's okay. You can just plug in the more information and say do it again. I talk to my chat like it's an actual person now. I tell it please and thank you.
Yeah, me too. I can't.
Because I'm a psycho. The good girl conditioning is so deeply in program that I say thank you, AI, for doing that. You know what's even funny too is you could see it show up. I was like, I had it like when I first started using it, I would like have it spit out like a bunch of shit like 100 times because it didn't sound like me and I was training it. And I started feeling bad that I was making it work so hard. I was like, oh, I'm like making it do so much. Like, I was like, whoa, what the fuck is this? It's wild. Like, it was such a piece of awareness for me of like how some of that stuff still exists. I love how it's spitting out a graph for me this time. I'll probably use this one instead.
Oh, you fucking kidding me? Have I just closed it down? Oh, you tit. I've just closed my down. Right, sorry, I'll start again.
All right, so come back into it when you're done. But I'm going to keep moving forward, and you have all the prompts here, and I can go back through it if you have any questions as you're doing it again. So now here, you don't have to do this one, but I wanted to do this one, and I put it in my workbook. So you can see here how I have different tabs. Like I have my blueprint, I have my product suite, I have what my funnel is going to look like, and then I have my big brand vision. So if you want to include a big brand vision in your blueprint for 2025, you can literally just ask it now. If you plug that information in to summarize your big brand vision for 2025. Mine is probably going to be more thorough and more spot on than some of yours if you're not currently using ChatGPT. Like I have a brand Bible in my ChatGPT that's like saved to the memory. So like it's pulling from all that information too here. So you might need to go in and be like, change this, change that. This doesn't sound like me, or I want this there. But this is a great skeleton for you.
Dumb question. Do you have to ask it to save it to its memory when you're doing that, or
no, like mine is full right now, so it's not saving anything else, but it will automatically save. But if your memory is full, then you'll need to go in and delete and say save this. All right, bye. And then the last prompt that we have here, which I think is one of the most important, is going to require you to put some additional information in based off of the awareness that you've built over the past 2 days. So I currently feel confused, challenged, or overwhelmed in these areas. Plug in wherever you feel that way. There are things I know I need to let go of in 2025, include what they are, saying yes to everything, having lower prices, feeling confused about marketing, not doing as many lives as I want to do, etc. Based on this and my big brand vision for 2025, help me identify the next 3 key priorities to focus on and the specific actions I need to take to achieve this vision. Also recommend any support I may need to bring this to life or the skills I should consider developing to ensure success. I wrote that. You don't have to worry about it. Just plug it in. It'll tell you what to do. Okay? Don't worry about it. Like exactly what you need is there. I'm having it coach you. Nikki, are you okay? You look like you're either going to pass out, cry, or scream. I can't tell.
Well, I'm not quite sure. I've just put it all in and it's thinking. But I've just realised that at the bottom I've put in a bit that says my prices need to increase and the volume of people, and I need a Gucci offer to reach my target. And it's not. Oh, there we go. Here we go. It's working.
It's doing it? Okay.
What the fuck is she just giving me?
It took a second. I had to think about it.
It's happening. Okay, brilliant. So then I can put the next prompt in and the next prompt, and you just keep adding them in underneath.
Yeah, you just keep adding them in. And then you can say, okay, so like now I can be like, okay, bring this all together in one 2025 blueprint. Like, cause I just did a whole bunch of shit here and it spit out tons of information that would be really overwhelming. So I'm going to have it put it all together in a nice organized way.
Okay.
So now it's spitting mine out.
Right, so I'm just putting prompt 2 in. Are you okay? No. Well, in a minute. I'll be like 5, 10 minutes. Yeah, okay. Can we put the heating on, please? The heating on, please.
My daughter is texting me from school, pick me up. We're just sitting in class. And then she said, I'll pay you in chocolate. And somehow she has acquired 20 chocolate bars in her bag that she sent me a picture of. I don't understand where it came from, how it happened.
Oh my God,
I
amazing.
don't know what's going on, but every day, pick me up. I'm like, bro, you have to stay at school.
Who does that sound like?
Oh, I would say yes. Come to the in-person with me. I'm going to be hosting retreats again this year. So I'm very excited about that. I haven't done a retreat in like a year and a half, maybe. So I'm very excited to be doing retreats again and my VIP in-person days. It'll probably be in Florida. I mean, I'm in Tampa, so I'm like the place that everybody wants to come to. I'm right on the beach, like right near St. Pete, which is a fucking spiritual beach community. It's like the best. And it's not Canada. Where it's freezing cold right now, which I know a lot of you in, or the UK where it's like dark and cold right now. But I will probably be doing it in like towards summertime because I know people with their kids and stuff. So it's not going to be right now, but I'll have another one next year at the end of the year. I'm probably going to do 2.
Why don't you come to Mexico in September?
Oh, I would love to come to Mexico, but you want to hear something that's wild? I don't have my passport.
Well, you've still got time.
I know. I could get it. I could totally get it. I would love to come to Mexico. Trust me.
Love that. That would be amazing.
Yet. Angelica said, "Yet." You guys hear my Carolyn Dweck growth mindset.
Love it. I'm nearly done.
So how do you guys feel about what it spit out for you? Here, let me take this off because we're done here. Now you have your blueprint, but I want to talk about this. I want to see how you guys feel about what it spit out for you. So what are we thinking? What are we feeling? How does it feel to see this actual blueprint laid out in front of you?
Just finishing mine off, sorry.
That's fine. This is great. Yeah. It's amazing because one of the things that we have now is exactly what we need to do. So there's no questions of, I don't know what to do. Yeah, there's going to be questions of, I don't know what to do in the specific tasks. Like, how the fuck do I make my lead magnet convert? Like, now I've put it into action, but it's not converting. Okay, well, that's why we have coaching, right? Like, that's why we come here. Chat GPT can't give you all the answers, but it just made your life 10 times easier. No problem. See you later. It just made your life 10 times easier because now you have a plan in place. Your brain can look at this and go, oh, there's a path forward. Or, hey, this path doesn't match. I want to tweak this. I want to tweak that. But there is a way to make this happen. And I have a checklist, like Nikki said, like I have a checklist of exactly what I need to do next. It's not all this reactive of like, I don't know what the fuck to do. I need to launch this thing. I need to launch that thing. It's like, no, with what you said you wanted and with the current offers that you have and with the pricing that you'd like to create, you can achieve the goals that you have in 2025. So I want you to take this blueprint and I want you to put it in a Google Doc and I want you to make it your fucking cornerstone for 2025.
Katie, what was that last question that you put in to make it into a blueprint?
It was organize all this and make it into a 2025 blueprint for me.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. How long have you been here today? I feel like I took a lot more time than I anticipated.
Feels like 2 minutes.
It's just been a little over 90. Okay, I figured it'd be an hour and a half. I mean, these are intensive workshops that we're doing, preparing ourselves for insane success in 2025. Like this is very important work. Please don't minimize what we've done today because what we've done today was literally set you up for insane success in 2025.
You know what day we've done it on as well? The 12/12 portal, which is one of the biggest days for manifesting, isn't it? I was so excited.
Caroline's woohoo! Yes, like this is what I didn't even do it on purpose either, but I realized that yesterday, Nikki, and I was like, how perfect is this? And so now we can really feel into the vision. Like we have the plan, it's laid out there. And if you're in one-to-one or the mastermind with me, or even the membership, like use me as accountability. Send me the thing or be like, hey guys, this is what I'm working on to get ready for 2025 in the membership and post it in the group and ask for accountability and support from your peers. Like that we rise to the level of accountability that we're held to. So just having this in a document isn't enough. Now it's about everything I talked about at the beginning of this call: the discipline, the accountability, the coaching, the mindset, the nervous system work to make this possible. Ooh, what is it? Let me see. Caroline likes ChatGPT like I like ChatGPT. I break it down into tangible actions that I can add. Brilliant. Fucking brilliant.
Because I was like, this is a lot, but where the fuck do I start?
You're the legends, Caroline.
So let's add that in there. Let's use that one. Here, let me see. I'm going to add it to mine. Let's see what it does. Now I'm curious. Since we're all here together and it doesn't look like either of you are trying to hop off any second, let's just do this really quick.
So it literally said Q1, January, week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4, February week. Yeah, like it broke it down even further.
Oh, this makes my skin tingle with joy.
It even gave me
God.
tips for calendar integration at the end.
Do they have a calendar integration yet?
It just says tips for calendar integration. Block time weekly, gives you prompts, theme your days.
Oh,
review
can I add it to the workbook, Caroline? Can I add?
Of course, please.
Because that was genius. I didn't even think about that. You know who's going to help us a lot with this is Alyssa. She's like her brain works that way. Like her brain is just fucking systems queen.
Well, because sometimes it gives you so much stuff. I'm still like, oh my God, I know I'm going to start working on something and it's not going to be the right thing, right? So
yeah.
I was kind of like, okay, well, break it down for me.
Absolutely. Let me add, no, I agree 1000%. Like I had like my next steps and that felt like enough for me. But now that I'm looking at this, I'm like, no, this is what I actually need. So this is really good.
And then I just threw in, is my current pricing okay to achieve my goals? And then ask, do you need them?
And so this is the piece I want to drive home too, is like play around in here. This is what I mean by making it your own. Like play around in here. Use ChatGPT as your assistant. I use ChatGPT as my strategist assistant, my marketing assistant, my secretary, my VA. Like it's everything to me. It has literally taken out 20 to 30 hours a week of work for me. And I am not exaggerating when I say that.
I think part of it too, Katie, is there's a big, and there's big conversation around AI and how much people are using it and what it's for and stuff like that. And I actually at one point felt probably not worthy enough because I was using AI and going, shit, well, can't I do it on my own? Like I'm using AI to help me create, okay, my 30-minute intensive, but I'm putting the guts in and I'm tweaking it and stuff. But it took me a while to be okay with the fact that I was using it.
Caroline, I feel you. I have been resistant to it. I talked shit about it up until about 3 or 4 months ago. And I started dating a guy who works in AI. And he was like, Katie, it's about prompt engineering. This is the future. He's like, you can fight it or you can go with it, but you're going to get left behind if you don't go with it. So he's like, figure out how to make it work for you. The best way to figure out how to make it work for you is through the prompt engineering. And it's only as smart as you teach it to be. So like you have to train it to be as smart as you. It can become your second brain. And when I started looking at it that way and I started playing around with it from that lens, as opposed to just do this for me and think for me, as opposed to think like me, all of a sudden it exploded the opportunities that I found available from it.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah,
because I really struggled with it going, maybe I'm not good enough if I'm leaning on ChatGPT, but I'll prompt it for my retreats. Like, here's a theme I want to do. Give me some ideas.
Yeah, no, it's genius. Like even Seth Godin, he's like the goat of all marketing. He basically invented email marketing. He talks about in his new book how he used Claude. He uses Claude instead of ChatGPT, but he talked about how he used Claude to help him write the book. It wasn't about writing the book. It was like, here are my 5 concepts that I want to share in this book. Tell me what I missed and give me 5 more. And then he pulled off of that and added into the book, and it made his work better. He's all about making better things. That's kind of like his tagline. And so he's like, it helped me make better things. So I'm here for that. I'm here for that use of it.
Well, what I shared yesterday about the Dear Santa stuff too, it was, all of a sudden I saw somebody do something and I was like, you know what, let's have some fun with this. And so I went into ChatGPT. I took the messaging that you and I had created, put it in and said, okay, let's put a Christmas theme to it. Let's write it as if we're writing Dear Santa. So it really, and again, you get to tweak it, right? So it's your voice. But
Exactly. You take it, you use it as inspiration, and then you make it your own.
love it.
I love it too. I'm
This
so
was
excited
great.
about it. So now you have a blueprint, right? It feels pretty anchoring. It feels like we have an anchor in our business now, of like knowing what we're doing. Nikki, are you still working on it? You look like you're so fucking focused right now. You're like, oh, you're
you're
muted.
on mute.
You're muted.
Sorry, I'm trying to highlight it also. I can print everything that it's just said to me, because when I asked it to streamline it at the bottom, it got rid of everything and like changed the chat, changed what it had written. So I was like, no, keep that. Like I wanted to read everything. So I'm trying to like go back up and sort it out. But yeah, I've got my blueprint and it's done it week by week, and it's told me like increase your prices this week, do this week, do that week, but it doesn't give me the juicy bit. So whether I need to ask it to elaborate on how I
You
could
might just need to add more information in. You might just need to add more information in and say, add this in here, or you can literally just go into the tab below and say, okay, for week 1 through 4, I need you to be more specific about what I need to raise my prices on, what I'm talking about that week, what it is this action over here, what it is that action over there, based off of this, here's what you need to know. And then literally it'll just talk to it like it's another, like talk to it like it's like somebody working for you, and they just need to know more about your business.
Is it better if I upgrade? Like, will it remember me more?
I would recommend upgrading because I think you get more memory. I pay $19 a month to save me fucking tremendous amounts of work. 1000%, no problem.
It's made a huge difference for me, to be honest, Nikki. Because I used to use the free version. And now that I've got the paid version, it is memorizing a lot more. And I feel like it's working more with me, where previously I had to continue to provide that information.
Because I've got it on my phone and on my computer, but because I use my phone more, that one knows me. So when I ask it to write in my language, it understands me more. But it can't
should
link.
be, they're using different emails because it should be connected on both platforms.
Yeah.
I asked it to connect yesterday and it said it couldn't because it was on a different thing. And I was like, that's not very good, is it?
Let's troubleshoot that. Let's troubleshoot that and figure out what's going on there when you have some time like this weekend, and figure out how you can fix it. Because once you can fix it, it's gonna be so much easier, because I use it on my phone and I use it on my desktop. And I love having it on my phone because I can be in the car and be like, here's my idea for content right now. Like, and I'll just talk into my phone and riff out a piece of content, and then it'll put it out. But then I can come to my desktop and I can make it my own and put it into a Google Doc and then put it on Canva.
That's what's not happening for me, so I don't know. But I need to figure out how to print all of that stuff off that we've just talked about.
Yeah, go in and play with it. Take time this weekend while you're chilling, play around
I'm
with
going
it.
to Dublin on
put it all
Saturday.
together.
Oh.
Today is Thursday.
I don't know why I said I'd go. You know, when you're like, I'm winding down for Christmas, and then one of the girls that's in the book is having a book launch, and I needed to go and support her. So.
Well, you got like one weekend of more shit, and then you can break it out, and then you can break and calm down.
Be good. Daisy's coming, so be good.
Share with me when you're done putting it all together, though, Nikki. Share it with me in a Google Doc, okay?
Yeah.
You too, Caroline. You too. Caroline, you too. Okay. All right. I love you both so much. Go put your plans together, and I will see you in all the different places, okay?
We have a call tomorrow.
No.
Is this the last day of Rich and Shameless?
No, we have one on Monday, and then we have one on Wednesday, and then we have the ugly sweater party Thursday.
Monday, Wednesday, Thursday.
Can't wait for that.
I know. I already found my sweater.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. You guys. See you later.